Budget fam, welcome if you are new here, and welcome back if you are a loyal subscriber. Today we are going to talk about the 50-30-20 rule, okay? But not just the normal 50-30-20 rule. The normal 50-30-20 rule is 50% goes towards bills. So half of the money that you're bringing in goes to bills, okay? 30% would go towards your spending, okay? So that's your gas, your groceries, your personal, your eating out, your household, your tithes, all of that, the weekly money that you would need, okay, in between your paychecks. The 20% is going towards your savings. All right, so that's how you would normally do it. Now, Be Budgeted likes to teach people that, listen, you don't need 30% to spend, okay? So we flip the spending and the savings. So we tell people to do 50% bills, 30% savings, and 20% for the spending, okay? That just ensures that you are prioritizing you to have a little more in your pocket rather than going out here and spending it just because you have that amount available, okay? So let's break it down into the different areas. So again, whatever you're working with is how you would do your calculations. So for this example, we are going to use a paycheck of $2,963. Okay. Now this would be your 50%. The bills would be your 50%. So when you break down $2,963, you get $1,481.50. So $1,481.50 is going towards your bills, okay? So that is going to be strictly for bills. Now, the way that you ensure, because I know what's going through your mind right now, what if my bills are more than that? The 50-30-20 rule is meant so that you make sure that the bills only take up 50%. So that means you would have to go through and decrease, get rid of, readjust any numbers that you needed to ensure that your bills are falling between that 50%. Now that is going to be 50%, like I said, of everything that you're bringing in for the month. So this is just the 50% for this particular paycheck, and you would do it again for your next paycheck, okay? Or if you get weekly, you would do it every time you get paid. You would do the 50%, okay? So $1,481.50 will go towards any bills that are due during that paycheck. Now, the way that I like to look at my paychecks is, if you have a lighter portion of your month where not as much comes out and you have a lot more money left over. So let's say our bills for this check did not add up to anywhere near the $1,481.50. I'm not just going to take that money and go spend it. I'm not just going to take that money and go put it somewhere else. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to make sure that I put that into the heavier part of my month. So if my next check is like the house, or, you know, house and car payment, or the heavier type of bills, then what you want to do is you want to save a portion of this until your next check. So then you can put that together to make sure that everything is being taken care of in the bills section. Okay. So that's how I like to do it. So that is your 50%. Now let's talk about your 20. Remember, we're flipping this. So this is going to be your 20% instead of 30%. My suggestion, okay, you don't have to take it. You can flip it and do 30% for your spending and 20% for your savings. But I really feel like 20% is definitely going to do the job, okay? So we take 20% of $2,963. That is going to give you $592.60. Okay, so this is going towards, like I said, gas, groceries, eating out, personal, tithes, household. The things that you can think of that you do kind of day to day, week to week, until you get paid again. Okay, we know these things have to be funded, but again, these are where most people overspend. So if we flip it and now we know, okay, we have $592.60 to work with, then we go in and say, out of that $592.60, how much are we putting in household? How much are we putting towards tithes? How much do we have for gas? How much do we need for groceries? How much do we need for eating out? How much do we need for personal? When you do this, it helps you to give every single dollar a job. And again, it helps you not to overspend, right? It also helps you not to just pay the bills and then just spend whatever's left, or put the rest into a separate a separate checking account, and then you're just swiping as you need it, right? We want to avoid doing that. So we want to, name of the game, give the dollars a job, which means that we already know going into this paycheck how much we have to spend, okay? So 20% would give us $592.60. So now your 30%, okay, your 30% is going to go towards your savings and sinking funds. All right. So if we do the 30% towards our savings and sinking funds, and again, sinking funds are just a fancy way of saying what you are specifically saving for. So these are going to be your categories, again, like vacation, holidays, birthdays, new car, new home, kids savings, summertime savings, back to school savings, all the things that you like to do, all the things that you want to save for can be a specific sinking fund. Okay. So 30% of the $2,963 is going to be $888.90. So that is going into your savings, and you can split it up any way that you would need to. Okay. And again, the different categories depends on the lifestyle that you and your household like to live. So this is how I would tell you to do the 50-20-30. Okay. In the beginning, it's going to be hard because you putting away $888 of this paycheck, you're going to want to spend it. But you have to learn the habit of saving and prioritizing the savings, because a safety net will always be important. Okay, listen, all the rest of the parts of your budget are definitely important. Getting out of debt, paying the bills, get all of that. But savings, to me, will always be number one, because you just never know what's going to happen. You always want to be prepared. And I always tell people, save when you don't need it, so that when you do need it, it is available for you to use. So you may not need that $888 right now, but once something comes up or you actually need to spend the money, guess what? It is there and ready for you to do. And it's not going to mess up anything else that you have. Okay. So that is the 50-30-20 rule that I like to follow. Okay. 50% towards your bills, 20% towards your spending, and then your 30% towards your savings. And again, all you would do is take your check and split it the way that it needs to. So if your check is less than $29.63, you're just going to take 50%, put it towards bills, and you're going to make sure that those bills match that. So again, go do research on how you can let go or decrease those bills. Okay. so that they are only 50% of your income. Then 20% is your spending. So you go do the calculations, figure out what 20% is, and you put that into those categories. And then you're going to save 30%. When you do this, you will see your savings account grow crazy amounts fast. Okay, crazy amounts fast. And that's all it is to it. Just got to get out there and do it. All right. So if you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful for you, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and let me know in the comments, have you tried the 50-30-20 rule either this way or the normal way before? Drop it in the comments. But as I always leave and say, y'all be budgeted, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure that you are healing the past so that you can budget your present, so that you are able to free your future.